Good evening or morning, whenever you're viewing this. Just wanted to come and bring you up to date on some things that have happened recently at Taylor Street and, of course, in the city of Hobbs and in the state of New Mexico. Most of you know that we have undergone a fairly dramatic change in the way that we've held our services over the last several weeks. And there's been a pretty dramatic pandemic that's happened across the city, the county, the state, the country, and the world. And I think we'd be remiss if we didn't think about the people that have undergone some pretty serious losses over the last several weeks and months, those that have lost their health and have been struck by COVID-19, also those that have lost their lives and their loved ones that have seen them, that people die from this as well. We've also had people that have had serious losses economically. They've lost their jobs and lost their businesses. So this has been a very trying time to be alive and for the world right now. And we've actually had even some trying times here at Taylor Street because we haven't been able to meet together. We've had to physically meet together. We've been able to meet through Facebook or YouTube. We've been able to do that virtually. What's happened over the last several days is that the governor of New Mexico has issued a new health order that has opened houses of worship to be able to be open for 25% of the occupancy of the building. So what this means is this gives us an opportunity to begin worshiping again physically together. I do want to certainly remember that there are some people that we're going to talk about in a few minutes that may not be able to worship together physically and probably shouldn't be able to be here physically as well. We want to let you know that there is absolutely no judgment on someone who, for whatever reason, cannot meet physically together. We're still going to have the services broadcast by Facebook Live and by YouTube, and we certainly want you to join in that as well. But we do know that there are some people that have various ailments that may not be able to be here. And again, I want to be very clear that if you can't be here for whatever reason, there's absolutely no judgment on that. The other thing I'd like to mention is some of the issues that are around this disease are very politically driven. And that just doesn't have any place in the church here. We need to be people that are full of grace, that we can have different views about things, about what you should and shouldn't do, how you should act, but we need to be very respectful of each other. We need to give each other a tremendous amount of grace and come back together. We are talking about coming back together physically on May the 24th. And what we want to do is talk a little bit about how that's going to happen and some of the things that should and should not occur. One of the things that we would like to talk about are people that really should not be here at service, that some things that need to happen to make sure not that we don't want people here, but to be able for that person to take care of their health, but also to take care of other people's health that may be here as well. John?
Hello. Well, it's exciting that we're about to be able to get back together and worship in the building here together, and it's a little scary because we've got a lot of things that we're trying to do to make sure that people are as safe as we can make it. And so one of the things that Scotty was alluding to is there's some people that probably should very seriously consider whether or not they're going to come back into the building now. And I'm going to read some things here. They refer to these as vulnerable populations. And it says right here, if you're part of a vulnerable population, you especially should consider staying at home and worshiping with us at home. If you live with a person who is vulnerable, you should carefully consider your role in protecting them. So you certainly wouldn't want to come here, catch something and take it home. So think about that, and let me tell you who they say is most vulnerable. This list says people 65 years and older, people who live in a nursing home or long-term care facility, people of all ages with underlying medical conditions, particularly if not well controlled, including people with chronic lung disease or moderate to severe asthma, serious heart conditions, weak immunity, severe obesity, diabetes, chronic kidney disease, undergoing dialysis, and liver disease. So if you have any of these conditions, you should probably search your heart as to whether or not it's in your best interest to come back to the building and worship with us here. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody on the first Sunday that we're able to be together. Thank you.
I would like for us to discuss some COVID-safe practices. And a lot of this has to do with COVID-19 symptoms. And one of the best things that can be done when you may have a question, should I come to services or not, when there's any doubt physically, one of the things that's recommended is that you perform temperature checks at home on all persons. Individuals who are ill or who have fevers must not attend in-service or in-person services. I know that that's not probably going to be practical for everybody, and if it's not, we do have an official listing of the COVID-19 symptoms, and these include the following: fever, cough, shortness of breath, sore throat, headache, muscle pain, chills, repeated shaking with chills, and loss of taste or smell. And we would like to encourage everyone, if any of this pertains to you, to please remain at home, and we sure would respect your decision that it would be best for you to view the online service and not put yourself or other people at risk. Thank you.
And finally, the Center for Disease Control has said that anyone that is known to be in close contact with anyone that has lab-confirmed cases of COVID-19 must not attend in person. So please respect that and these other things that the fellows talked about as we try to come back to as close as we can to normal meeting here at the building. Now at this time, Doug and Lance are going to kind of give you a walkthrough of what it might be like on the Sunday of May 24th. Look forward to seeing everyone then. God bless. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, Taylor Street Church of Christ. We are so excited to give you some awesome news. We are going to be regathering on Sunday, May 24th at 10 a.m.
Regathering, what's that word about?
Well, regathering because we are,
we were never closed.
yeah, we were never closed.
Because the church is not a building, it's a people.
It's a people.
And we are going to get to physically regather. On May 24th.
We were never closed.
And so if you cannot come, if you are in a high-risk group, if for any reason in the world you cannot be here, we are still going to be coming on Facebook, YouTube, hubschurch.com. Any way that you digitally have tuned in here, that is still going to be there for you.
Yes, but on May 24th, in addition to what we've been doing, we're now going to offer regathering for those of you who are able to come here and feel comfortable to do that.
Okay, so to be safe, we're going to do a few things. The first thing is that we will practice the recommended 6 feet of social distancing, and that does include your kids. So I have kids. Many of you have kids. They love to run around and play. We're going to try to keep them with us when we're here.
That's right. So there are other precautions that we have taken, and we want to make you aware of that. So before May 24th at 10 a.m., you'll have an idea of what to expect when you show up. So why don't we go inside and we'll talk a little bit more about those. Okay, we are here. Why don't you tell them what's the first thing to expect?
Okay, the first thing is that worship is going to start at 10 a.m. We know that you're used to 9 because then we have class at 10, but worship is going to start at 10 a.m.
That's right. We also are going to ask you to wear a mask. This is not just for your safety and your comfort, but it's also for the safety and comfort for those around us. If you don't have a mask, we will be able to provide you with one so that everybody can have a mask.
All right, so the north doors that we just walked through and the south doors on that end will be available for you to come through, as well as the northwest doors that have the handicap ramp.
So, where do you want to park? Well, you can park where you normally do, that's fine, but you also may want to consider that if you're going to sit on the north side of the auditorium, it might be better to park on the north side of the building in the north parking lot.
There's less traffic crossing in the foyer now.
Yeah, and if you usually sit on the south, we encourage you, you might want to park on the south side. That's just, we're trying to help create a good flow of traffic.
Doug, what's this?
This is a sanitizing station, and it works. Looky right there. We have these placed throughout the foyer, so we want to encourage you to use these so that we can all have clean hands and clean hearts.
Absolutely.
Okay,
All right.
Where are we going now?
As you come in, the first thing that you will see on your left is communion supplies. And these are spaced out to where you only need to touch one. And I'm going to show you the way to use these. First thing you do is there's a little plastic flap here, and you peel that up, and there is the bread. And you will have an opportunity to partake of that with everyone here. And then there will be a prayer, and then you will peel the second flap, and then there is the fruit of the vine. And so these will be available as you walk in, and then on the end of the table is something else maybe you haven't seen.
At every door.
And there's 3 of these.
Yes, at every entrance of the auditorium, at the back of the auditorium, not only will we have the communion supplies, we will also have collection boxes available for you so that as you enter in, if you would like to make your contribution at this point, you may do so at one of these doors.
Yes, and you can drop that in coming and going.
Coming and going,
And
or
going
going.
or.
Either one.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can do it both ways. It's cool.
Yes.
So you might notice that this room is rather large. The capacity of our auditorium is 1,200. What is it, Doug?
1,256.
Yes.
1,256.
So, with the 10% rules,
Thanks, Rain Man.
Yes.
that means that we are saying that we can see 125 in this building legally. You will notice that the pews are socially distanced. You will notice that there is a 6-foot gap between them, but there are some what we like to call a duplex. So this is what we call a duplex. This is intended for a single family unit. So if you have a family of 4 or 5 and you need 2, this is for you. If you're coming with just 2 or 3 of you and you live in the same home, then the single one is for you. So Doug, you and I cannot share this pew,
That's right.
nor can we share this pew.
That's
Because
right.
we don't live together.
Yeah, so I'm going to take my double pew because I have a large family, and anybody who comes that has a smaller family, we encourage you to use the singles.
Yes. And if we do have more than 125 here, the overflow will be in the quads, and we will pipe that in through the TV, and we will have sound and video in there.
So you're already in the building, you've parked, you've sanitized, you have your mask on, you've located your new favorite pew. but just to let you know about some of the other areas of the building, the basement, the kitchen, the launch pad, and all the classrooms, they're going to be closed. So obviously the hallways are open so you can get in and out. This hallway has the bathrooms over there, but otherwise we're keeping everything else closed. The nursery room will be open, but it won't be staffed. So if there's a reason that you need to go in there with your little one, you may do so, but it's not going to be staffed, so it's not going to be when we normally drop off kids.
Additionally, there will not be coffee pots available. There will be no coffee. The water pitcher, all of those things are gone. If you want coffee, you may bring your own. We are happy for you to do that, but the coffee pots and everything are out of the building for right now.
That's right. Also, we'll have a service that's pretty similar to what you've seen the last several weeks, except we'll have people gathering here with us. But we are reserving communion till the very end of the service, and that way you don't have to worry about what am I going to do with the little container and whatnot. And so at the very end of service, after the sermon and everything, we'll have communion, we'll take it together, and then as you're leaving, you can dispose of your empty communion container at that point.
Yes, absolutely. The front of our building, many of you could have gone here for years and you may never have known that there were doors behind those mini blinds. We will allow you to exit through those doors if you so choose. There is a place to make a contribution there as well. There is also a place to place your communion cups after you have used them, and that is on both sides of the auditorium.
The south and the north. Also, just a reminder that after the communion is done and after we have had the closing prayer, there will be no Bible classes. So we will have just our service, and we'll be excited to do it. And so we hope you're ready to regather with us.
Yes. We know we have hit you with a lot of changes. We're trying to keep you safe. We're trying to tell you we love you. But really, we want to keep the focus on worshiping our Lord and our Savior. And so hopefully we all can adjust to these things very, very quickly and really just turn our hearts and minds to the whole purpose for why we're here.